honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, double honor to the apostles, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstones, spreading the good news of the gospel, teaching this truth throughout the earth, and who rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing the word to the four corners of the earth in all sincerity and risking their life to do so.
Okay. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wa abba babal. In fact, you call drop that and go to Revelation 17.
Revelation 17.
Yep. Because we're gonna get into the top story of Trump and Putin meeting in Alaska. All right, on this Sabbath day. All right, which this is history right here. It says Trump and Putin expected to hold news conference soon, right, for Ukraine talks. All right, you can look it up right now, and all this is live, current. All right, and today is Friday, August 15th, 2025, the year we hope for judgment, which is the destruction of the wicked, their kingdom, them going into slavery under us, and us receiving the freedom that has been promised to the Israelites. All right, the Israelites have been given a promise, all right, through the word of Yahweh about salvation and what we're going to inherit, starting with Yahweh Shai and King David, all right? So go ahead, Yuko.
This Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Which is America. All right. At the bottom of the chapter, it tells you that where it's sitting is upon all these different nations. The headquarters of America in New York, the headquarters of UN, the United Nations, is in America. All right. America is known as a melting pot of people, a land of confusion because they could worship whatever God they want. All right. So this is a whore. This is another reason America is a whore. All right. They're allies and really the leaders of the European Union. America is the whore that rides the beast. The European Union, and they always said their arch enemy was Russia. Now America is over there meeting up with having side meetings with Putin. That would make a woman a whore. If she was married to you and then she's having side meetings, going on over here at other places, right? That would make her a whore. This is why America is a whore. All right? It's because they'll do deals with anybody, but it's all in the intentions of backstabbing. All right? They're going to backstab each other. All right?
And I got one here too.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 5.
Just read through. Just go ahead and go through Revelation 1. Go down.
Is that the same one?
Yeah. Just you read 1. Now go
on. Sorry. Okay, I'll go back to where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
Start at 2, right?
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Right. Esau Edom used America, all right, to push the lie of Christianity. All right. Let me pull up an image right here so you can understand. All right. They used America to push that false image of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right? This is why they're called the devil, because they have deceived the world. All right? They are also known as Satan because they're the adversary to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and the holy prophets, which have the Holy Spirit. All right? Go ahead.
Okay.
And they're also going to make an implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling. All right? An identification. This is the mark of the beast, which, if you accept it as an Israelite, it will condemn you. All right? It will condemn you to the lake of fire, nuclear destruction of America. All right? And Esau already knows his judgment, talking about the elite, and he's pretty much trying to take as many Israelites as he can. But it's all predestined that he would only be able to take 2/3 of the Israelites in America with him, all right, in his destruction. 1/3 is saved, whether they live or whether they die. They're going to be saved by Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the true Messiah, as it is written in the Holy Scriptures. All right, this is as he Yahweh Shai is described in the Holy Scriptures. This is what you see illustrated. All right, go ahead, Jacob.
Con. Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast.
Right, so that's the European Union. All right, let me get that image of America, the whore. Let me see, it should turn. There we go. There you go. All right. America's the whore that rides the scarlet colored beast. The scarlet colored beast is NATO, and their king is the European Union, which you can see on the head of these beasts. There's horns, which represent the kings of the European Union. The 7 heads represent the 7 nations, which is Greece, Rome, France, Britain, Spain, Germania Major, Germania Minor. All right. America is the one that replaced the head that was wounded unto death, which was Rome. All right. And America is the reincarnation of Rome. All right. And America is the whore that rides the beast. Okay. Go ahead.
Con. This is Revelation chapter 17, in the middle of that paragraph of verse 3, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right. So the 10 horns is the kings of the European Union. All right. The beginning of the European Union, there was 10 nations. All right. And they 10 kings of those 7 nations. All right. In fact, let me grab it. I could just Google it real quick too. Who were the original 10 kings of the European Union? All right. So it tells you you had 10. Let me see here. The 10 nations that came together starting the European Union. 10 nations. Let me see. So it says the inner 6, and then it branched out. But it started with Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. All right, in 1951. And then in 1957, the Treaty of Rome, which originally they were called the European Economic Community, and then they became the European Union. All right. So it started off with six, and then it went into it multiplied. But the Lord speaks of the 10 original nations or kings of those nations, those Edomite nations, all right, which set up this beast system to go against America, all right, which they're going to go against America because it tells you in Revelation 17 that these are going to hate the whore and with the teeth of the beast, all right, eat the flesh of the whore, which is NATO. The teeth of the beast is NATO, and they're going to devour the whore, America, with nuclear missiles, all right? And this is what's going to cause them to hate the whore. Trump meeting with the Putin, the Russian president, all right? That's going to cause them, because once again, that's like him stepping out on the marriage with the European Union. You see, which they're supposed, the European Union and NATO was formed against during the Cold War, and it was brought in dealing with the USSR. That's why they came together. All right. So then, you know, with Trump going over there and being kind and all that in front of everybody with Putin, all right, that's like him committing adultery on the European Union, being a whore. All right. Now, let me see. So they got the flags of the original, which they have 9 there, right? 4, 12 on this one. It says Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Denmark, Ireland, United Kingdom, Greece, Portugal, and Spain. All right, which, you know, as it has grown into other nations joining the European Union. All right. Let me see. Let me see. I just wanted to see because I remember they had all those flags out there. All right, representing the countries. All right, there you go, like that. All right, go ahead, you call.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and
Which
pearls.
is dealing with the elite that rule America, rule the world through America. They're rich, and they got rich through America. America was full of resources, which they came and took and used, right, and exploited. All right. So America is that great country, and the elite of Esau ruled through America. All right. That's why when Israel is doing what they're doing, who do they go get? America. Ukraine, they're doing what they're doing. Who do they go get? America. Putin, he's doing what he's doing, but who's he coming to shake hands with? America. See, so the elite rule the world through America. All right, the false religions, the institutions, right? The philosophies, it all comes out of America. All right, and they use the beast to pretty much scare everybody, which they have the UN, the United Nations under that beast, the European Union and NATO. watch the movie Beast of No Nation. And it shows you when they use these UN soldiers, which are the other nations, it goes up to the European Edomites, all right, or the American Edomites that are pulling the strings on UN, all right. So the Edomite that rule the world through America, they're, like it says, they're rich, right? The world owes them everything pretty much. Why? Because the Lord has put in the earth in the hand of the wicked for his purpose. Okay, go ahead.
Con. Revelation chapter 17, verse 4, in the middle of the paragraph, and that verse, and pearls having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Right, which they push their idolatry. They push their Christianity, which is a form of their idolatry, democracy, right? Feminism. All that shit came out of America. And it's corrupted the whole world. 2 Ezra 15. That's why he raised up the prophets. He's bringing plagues upon the earth because wickedness had fulfilled all its work. The whole world is corrupted under this so-called white man. All right? Remember, I like to point out, China was known as a forbidden city. You could see on TikTok young Chinese women shaking their ass. This shows you the corruption of America has spread, just as it said that the technology would increase. All right? Go ahead.
It says, Revelation chapter 17, verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Right, which is a mystery to the world, but we know through prophecy what who Mystery Babylon the Great is. All right, so it says that this is it says, where's it at? Upon her forehead was a name written, mystery to the world, Babylon the Great, which America is Babylon the Great. Trump is king of Babylon, which they do Babylonian magic in their movies, in their money system. It's all Babylonian. If you read the history, you would see that America is built in the image of Egypt, in the image of Babylon, in the image of Rome. All right? It says, the mother of harlots, which pushes a do as thou wilt spirit throughout the world, and abominations of the earth, which they promote transgenders, they promote sodomite lifestyles, they promote women being adulterous, they promote all kinds of things, right? That are abominations throughout the whole earth. What were they doing in Afghanistan? They said they were liberating women. Women are not supposed to be liberated. They're supposed to be under their husband's rule. And before that, under their father's rule. See, so America is a wicked kingdom of the wicked, the so-called white race. And they got rich off of doing wickedly. All right? So this is talking about America, and it's not a mystery no more. All right? It's clear as day who the king of Babylon is, who is the whore, who is the beast that everybody looked at and said, who could make war with this beast, right? Now Russia coming up, which it's prophesied the Medes would, which Russia represents those Medes. All right? Go ahead, Jacob.
On Revelation chapter 17, starting at verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of saints.
Of the saints, right.
Of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
But she actually saw a vision, all right? And they even have an image of America. What is it called? Manifest Destiny. Which Trump even put this image out. All right? That this is what he's intending to do. Try to regain power like they did in the past with the sword. All right, this image, all right, it was set up in the newspaper, and then eventually a president quoted it and pointed towards it of manifest destiny. Okay, and as he's prophesying, he's saying he's seeing a vision of a woman. All right, and this woman is an attractive woman. All right, but within this woman, which represents the country of America, this whore is the blood of saints. How was America built? On the blood of Israelites, right? On the natives, on the Mexicans, which are the northern kingdom. Shit, the so-called Eskimos are Israelites, and they ran up to no man's land trying to get the fuck away from this devil. All right? This Edomite, all right, came in with the sword and took the land, and then brought the southern kingdom in on slave ships. They spilled their blood here, right? You got historic evidence of this, all right? So this is what they intend to do again, all right? They intend to try to come in like a flood, which this is what they're doing right now. You got to remember, what did they do in the time of Herod when he found out the prophecy of Yahweh Shai, the king of the Jews? He sent his soldiers to slaughter all the babies 2 years old, and down, right? Moses, what did Pharaoh do when he heard of the prophecy of Moses? He sent his soldiers to put to death all the young children of a certain age, male children, right? Just trying to stop the prophecies. What is Trump doing? Right? He told you already. Trump put this image up. He's coming down with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. He knows what time it is. It's the Israelites that don't know what time it is. The Israelites are the ones that think they got all kinds of time. You ain't got all kinds of time. We're in the very last days. Now, it ain't going to happen tonight or even within a couple days, but with what's going on, we know we're close to them bringing out that implantable microchip, making it mandatory for buying and selling, with their executive orders going to digital currency, Trump's cabinet being all digital, right? Elon Musk, he actually has a company that puts the chip inside your head. All right, Vance, the vice president, he's a banker that funds digital companies. All right, Trump, he's signing away all these executive orders to get it done. All right, which he's Nero, and he's blaming the Israelites to burn down Rome. And America is Rome. All right, and so it's only going to get worse here, because they're going to bring chaos to try to bring forth their new world order, which is on the back of the dollar. All right, they're going to try to re-enslave us under that microchip, but it's going to fail. Okay, go ahead. So in that part, though, when he said he saw her with admiration, pretty much he had a vision of a woman, an actual woman, a beautiful woman, and he kind of like fell in love with her at the moment. And that happens here, right? People change here in America, right? The so-called comfortable lifestyle, it alters people, right? Going to Walmart, going to King Soopers, being able, like these women, they able to work 2-3 jobs, right? Buy a car, buy a house, do all this shit, sleep with all the men they want. So America, it always was like the place to be, all right? Because they allowed you to do wickedness here that wasn't allowed in other countries, all right? Go ahead, you call.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 7, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel?
Right. So he's like, what the fuck you looking at, man? This is a whore. Right? But John is like, dang, that's a hot ass bitch, talking about America. But he's like, this shit is trash. Right? It's just like the women here. You get women that are so-called good looking, but really her whole womb has been polluted to the point she had a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
That's what America is.
Mm-hmm.
America, it has beachside housing, it has amusement parks, it has mountains with trails, it has all these things, right? It could be considered a paradise, but at the same time, it corrupts the world with its abominations. You see, so it's like a beautiful woman with AIDS, all right, and she's on her dying bed and she's trying to take everybody with her. That's what America is, a dying whore trying to spread disease throughout the world. You see?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of, you know who I always thought of? Uh, when you learn the truth, Tom Hanks' woman in the movie uh, Forrest Gump. Remember the whore that was always in there running out?
Oh yeah.
That's America.
Yeah.
They're always trying to make peace deals with you and then they break them. They run off and go sleep with someone else. Right? Look at America. Where are they at now? You see? And it's even funny because they were showing on TikTok that they were meeting at this fancy hotel like it's like an affair. You know? Like a secret meeting of love that's an adulterous lust.
Yeah, he wanted her.
Yeah. But I'm talking about Trump and them.
Oh yeah.
You know, being the whore and then going over there with Russia.
Yeah, he's
What hotel did Putin and Trump have their meeting? I don't think they'll tell you because of the meeting, but I heard it was like a famous hotel, pretty much. But that's what made me start thinking about this, about how this shows you how America is a whore. Look at them. Looking at each other like they're on a date. Look at smiling and giggling with each other.
Yeah.
See? Look.
Yeah, they were in their that what they call that limousine he drives in, the I forget what they call it, but they were just laughing in the back seat together.
Mm-hmm. The beast.
The beast, yeah.
Like it says, this is from Alaska news source. It says Russia and U.S. delegates sleeping in dorm rooms, and Trump and Putin expected to hold joint peace conference in Alaska. Forget about getting a hotel or renting a car in Anchorage. The University of Alaska Anchorage says Russian and U.S. delegates are staying in dorm rooms on campus. See? So it's like an affair almost that they're having with Russia, backstabbing their allies, the European Union and NATO. You see? Though we know the truth, we know that they're all allies. Look up the UN, right? Let's show you. I'll do it right now. Countries that had part in starting UN.
Here's information from UN Research Guides, the United Nations.
All right, so it says founding members of the UN: China, the Republic of China, France, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, right? And who else is in there? Obviously, America. Okay? Iran. See, so a lot of these things that you see going on in the news is war games, which there is people dying, but they're just testing out equipment. They're training their soldiers, all right? They're doing things together. This is why they tell you they're having war games with each other, all right? Because they're getting ready to try to fight, to try to stop their judgment. That's really what they're trying to do, is stop their judgment, all right? Why did Trump unleash a bunch of troops in the street of America? They're trying to stop their judgment. They're panicking. All right? Why did Herod release a bunch of soldiers to try to murder Yahushai? Why did Pharaoh unleash a bunch of soldiers to try to murder Moses? Because they're trying to stop the prophecies. They hear the prophecies also. All right? And on my channel, I'll show you right now. I was going to do a sit down on it, but it's a good time to do it right now to show you. All right? For a fact, I know for a fact that these elite are watching. All right? You can see right here, right there, this man follows me. Who is this man? All right? And I was live last night, all right, running the image of Yahweh Shai, right? And this guy was watching in the middle of the night. All right? And if you look it up, watch, I'll do it right now for you just for, true sake. Can I have a fake Elon Musk TikTok account? No. Creating a fake account impersonating a real person, including a celebrity like Elon Musk, violates TikTok's community guidelines. So this is a real Elon Musk TikTok channel, and he's following me and watching the videos. He's doing these upper Edomites. They know what's going on. All right, they watch our videos. The elite, the top elite, they know more than us because they have the technology to see small and see into the heavens. All right, they have the money to go into these different locations in the Bible and go dig things out. You see, to do all these experiments and tests, and so they're wiser than Daniel. All right, which that woman, what was that woman that just came out? A senator of Congress says she's seen. Senator of Congress says she saw interdimensional beings. Anna Paulina Lunas. All right, she's been making news talking about that they know about beings, right? Something different than a regular human, all right, being explained in the Bible. See, and this is why they're panicking. She even said in the meeting with Joe Rogan that the whole reason that they don't want you to know is because it makes you question where you are in the prophecies. And that's prophesied in the Bible. It says that people would wonder whose names are written in the book of life. And that's why you have all these false prophets popping up. All right? It's just like the golden ticket in the movie Willy Wonka, the chocolate factory. Everybody wanted a golden ticket. Right? But only the ones that were selected got it. See? And not all of them made it. The ones that got the ticket, remember, as Apostle Paul said, many run, but only one wins the race. And it's going to be one body, the ones that are serving Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, that are Israelites. All right? Now, go ahead, you call.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Let me get one more scripture because it just brought me back to that thought with, with these Edomites watching us. It says in Romans 12, no, it's Hebrews 12. And 1, it says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us, which we're in a race of patience, endurance, right? It says, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of our power Yahweh, which he said in Revelation 3 and verse 21, to him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. Talking about the chariots. When Yahushua went up into the cloud after being raised from the dead. All right, he's going to return in a chariot, standing above it, and he's going to command the angels to gather his elect into it. All right, and he's going to deliver us from the second death, the judgment of America, this whore, which it tells you that the allies of America, the European Union, which their military might is NATO, and BRIC nations, which a lot of those BRIC nations are going back to those UN nations, they're all going to shoot missiles on America. See, the whole world is going to shoot missiles from every direction on America. All right? So that's what we got to overcome. And we're going to overcome it by Yahweh's Son, Yahweh Shai. All right? Go ahead.
Con. We're at Revelation chapter 17, in the middle of the verse 7. I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, which are the countries that gave the beast the power, right? Which you had these kings, these men, these Edomite men that ruled from these different nations in unity in protecting America. Okay, go ahead. And what did America set up? The small hats, right? The so-called Israeli state. All right, and how did they do it? Through the muscle they had with the European Union.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Says Revelation chapter 17, verse 8, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
The European Union. The reason it's called a bottomless pit is there's no resources there, like America or other parts of the world, like Africa, even Asia. Europe is a bottomless pit. There's no resources. And that's where they were in the Dark Ages, known as Neanderthals. All right? They were like cavemen. The Lord brought them from being like cavemen to being like they are today in suits and ruling over us. All right? And so it's called the Renaissance, the rebirth of the so-called white race. All right? And now you have America, which this is what he's prophesying. That's why he said it's not here yet, but it is, because it was going to come out of those Greek and Roman heads. You see, then you had what? Spain, Britain, France, right? Germania Minor, Germania Major, which they all had time of ruling. And they were all trying to reestablish that Roman dominance. All right? Even the guy with the little mustache, right? He was really a Rothschild. He used to do this salute. If you go back to it, it's called the Roman salute. All right? Watch, I'll show you real quick just a Roman salute. Elon Musk does the Roman salute. You see? The same as that guy with the small mustache.
Is that like the Hitler salute?
Yeah. But you gotta watch out of saying that name on the live, because they might flag it. But you can watch history about that man on YouTube, so we shouldn't be flagged for saying that name. Because, you could go to YouTube, which we're live, we could look up YouTube channels on that man, but they'll flag you for saying that name, even though you can find the history of that man on YouTube. All right. But yeah, all this goes back to Rome. All right. The reincarnation of Rome, which today America is that reincarnation of Rome. Go ahead.
Con. And go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
And yet is, which is dealing with America. All right. That's going to go into perdition. Once again, America came out of all these other countries. They pretty much was an extension of these different nations, trying to rebuild Rome, all right, to rule the world, all right, not the Holy Roman Empire. That was Jake. This was the pagan Roman Empire, okay? Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 17, verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Which are those 7 countries? Greece, Rome, France, Spain, Britain, Germania Major, Germania Minor. Those are the 7 mountains. Go ahead.
And reading on, it says, Revelation 17, verse 10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
A short space, which is this short space from the Renaissance to their destruction. It's only a short period of time. All right, compared to what these other nations, like Damascus, that city, though it's in rubble now, it's that city. When you look it up, it's been around since the beginning of time. It was before the era of the Messiah. You see, when Paul got converted, he was on his way to Damascus. See, but that city has been around forever, and it's prophesied that it would be in rubble at the end of these last days, when the wicked and these other nations will come in on us like a flood. All right? And so we got a sure word of prophecy. All right? And that's why we're fully persuaded in believing in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai through the Holy Spirit. All right? Because we have all the instruction that we need, what you know as grace. Okay? Go ahead.
Con. Revelation 17, verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Right, which is the America, which replaced that Roman head that was wounded unto death. America is the 8th. All right, and it's going to be destroyed. That's the prophecy of this whore. Perdition, that word perdition literally means to be destroyed. It says a state of, it says eternal punishment, which that's Christian theology, all right? But what it is the nuclear destruction, all right? And it's going to, America is going to never rebound from that, right? It's always going to be a desert that no one dwells in, okay? It says, and damnation into which a sinful and unpenitent, it says person, but it would be an Israelite in America, passes after death, which is not after death. Pretty much this is going to be their death. Nuclear destruction. It's going to turn America into a lake of fire. The Israelites that are disobedient to the salvation in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, and this is actually created for the wicked and them, their angels, their military. All right? But the 2/3 that reject the salvation in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, they're going to be rejected and left here and die here. But they're going to come back through the loins of the elect as children. All right? Go ahead.
Con. Revelation 17, chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Right. Was they're already together. All right. It's already happened. Go ahead.
These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Which it's already been formed. So this is a sure word of prophecy. How did they have this before this even existed? It's prophecy. Now the Romans were back then and the Greeks doing the same thing though. Why? Because they're the same spirits that are here today. This is why we know that Trump is Nero. All right? They were doing the same things back then they are doing now. Making pretty much deals with the other nations to try to come against the Israelites. All right? Go ahead.
Revelation 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord Yahweh of lords and King of kings.
This is Yahweh Shai, though.
Oh, okay.
For he is Lord of lords.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was capital. King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Right, which are the elect. Revelation 7, verse 4, the 144,000, and then the rest of the Israelites, Revelation 7 and 9, that are gathered from all over the world. All right? They're called through the prophecies, through the mouth of the prophets on the internet, or they come across us. Then chosen, meaning he gives us faith, which causes us to choose, to believe, start to live in believing that Yahweh Shai is coming back to judge the world, as it says in the word of Yahweh, and faithful, doing the purpose that the Lord created us to do until he returns. All right, go ahead.
And this is Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Right, which this is covered by the UN and also America's reputation of being a melting pot of people, a sea of people. That's why it says there'll be no more sea. It's not talking about the literal sea. It's talking about America, which you have all these different races together. Mm-hmm. The Lord, he separated them according to their nation. But in America, they say that everybody's made equal, right? Women are equal to men. See, so America is the whore, all right? And it pushed out abominations through its idolatry and its false doctrines. Okay? Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
So what is the flesh of America? The American people. The European Union with BRICS is going to shoot nuclear missiles, including with the UN nations, on America. They're going to shoot missiles on America from all directions and burn her with fire. What fire? Nuclear fire. What has America done? It has done the same to other nations. All right? Go ahead.
Con. Revelation chapter 17, verse 17. For power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of power shall be fulfilled.
Right. So we're at a time where they're gonna break their contract with America because America's a whore, and they say, hey, you're gonna go make deals with Russia. We're gonna go make deals with Russia. Well, the deal is they're gonna shoot nuclear missiles on America. See? Go ahead.
Con. Revelation 17, verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Now go to Daniel 2.
Daniel 2.
And verse, I think it's like 44. see. Start at 40.
40.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Right, which they're the Roman Empire, the Edomites, the so-called white race, which they were also the Greeks. All right, go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
Which it's built in the Roman Empire. Even America with the European Union, that agreement, it goes back to Rome. A fascist, the idea of being fascist. Fascist is many being one, which they believe it makes them stronger. To have many nations fighting for him. All right, and that's what he's going to do. He's trying to get all these nations confederate with him to fight the Lord. They're telling you he's coming back. They're saying that there's a chariot bigger than Mount Everest coming back, which it's already here. All right, and we already know who's upon these chariots or within them. All right, it's a plague that's going to plague the earth with fire. All right, go ahead.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Mm-hmm. But they have mixed themselves amongst the heathen through the UN, and they have pretty much brought themselves into great debt. Okay, go ahead.
Con. Daniel chapter 2, verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
And partly broken, like Brexit. All right, it's broken in some parts, but it's in certain areas it's strong. Right, like you just saw all these European Union members come and meet with Trump recently this year, trying to say that they're strong, but at the same time, there's reports of them wanting to separate. Or like this with Putin and Trump meeting. Why are they meeting? Right? They're not allies supposedly. Right? But it's all to the Lord's will. Because he says we'll get it. But he's in control of these nations. The king's heart is in his hand. So they may shake hands one day and the next day try to murder each other. That's what's going to happen. All right? Go ahead.
Con. Daniel chapter 2, verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Right. So talking about these Edomites and the UN nations, they're together, but they're not confederate completely. All right. The European Union, which they have the NATO nations, the UN nations, these BRIC nations. All right. Esau, he's made deal with these other nations, the heathen against the Israelites, but they're not completely with Esau. You see? And that's what Esau doesn't understand, because they're going to find themselves fighting each other. All right? In the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Right? America is going to be invaded by what? UN, NATO, troops. BRIC troops. See? So they're confederate against us, but they're divided amongst each other. See? So their kingdom is not going to stand. All right? Go ahead.
Con. And this is the book of Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
Right? So the European Union, America, the whore, all these kingdoms exist that the Lord prophesied since way back in the time of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. Right? He had a vision of this statue and these different kingdoms that came after him. And the last one being the Romans, which they had 2 legs. We're in the second leg now in America. All right. And it has 10 toes, which is the 10 horns on the 7 heads. All right. And it's the feet of the image because we're at the end of these heathen ruling. All right. Go ahead.
Con. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
Which are the Israelites. We're not going into another slavery. All right. Go ahead.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Forever. Now let's go to Isaiah 13
Isaiah 13.
and start at verse 6.
13 verse 6, and it reads, Isaiah chapter 13 verse 6, Howl ye, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is at hand. It
Which
shall
he's going to send Yahweh Shai back. All right? That's what's going to happen. Go ahead.
it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
Shall mount, meaning nuclear destruction or chariot fire. The valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be filled with the military of these nations, and they're going to be melted there by chariot fire. And America is going to eat 200 million nuclear missiles. See? So we're going to see this place rock and roll, but we're hoping to see it from the chariot being saved by Yahweh Shai at the command of Yahweh. Go ahead.
Con. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 8, and they shall be afraid, pangs, and sorrow shall...
Which the pangs is us. We're the pangs, the messengers of sorrow. All right, and sorrows are the prophecies happening right now as we prophesy. You see these prophecies coming to pass. All right, go ahead.
shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
Man, they don't know what to do. They thought everything was peachy. They're talking peace. All of a sudden, destruction. When this destruction happens, people they're gonna be lost for words. They ain't gonna know what to do. All right, it showed it when they did the false alarm in Hawaii. They said there was an ICBM coming in, and they said the guy had a heart attack just from hearing that alarm, because his heart couldn't handle it. Oh shit! Oh, well, that's gonna happen a lot when the Lord comes back, and they see these chariots. That's gonna cause them to die. When they see the nuclear missiles, they're gonna die. In the nuclear missile destruction, they're gonna die. In the chariot fire, they're gonna die. But just from seeing it, these people there's gonna be people that drop dead from all nations, just from seeing it. And then when he puts out the command and they feel that fire, it's gonna be worse, because they're gonna be in that fire and they're gonna know they fucked up. The heathen, they have no salvation. But the ones that I'm talking about are the Israelites that joined this military to go try to support this country that has no future. Or them that take that implantable microchip to continue in your slavery here in Babylon. You're going to feel that fire. All right? Go ahead.
Isaiah 13 verse 9, Behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Right, the 2/3. He's going to leave them here to die in the fire. See, and that word wrath, it goes into outpouring. See, so first you hear this word, the Lord's telling you about his wrath through his prophets, and then he sends his fierce anger with Yahweh Shai, which is going to enforce the judgment. See, we're telling you about it, and then it's going to happen. Those are the pangs and sorrows. Okay, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 13 verse 10, For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Right, nuclear destruction, mushroom cloud. Go ahead.
And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease.
Which he's going to destroy the wicked's kingdom and enslave them under the Israelite. Go ahead.
And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
Which Esau is that terrible nation that was sent against us, that enslaved us, that didn't care about the old or the young. Spoken of in Deuteronomy 28. All right, that they spoke a different language than us because we spoke Hebrew and they spoke Latin. Go ahead.
Isaiah 13, verse 12, I will make a man more
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. But one of the ways you know that this is Rome all over again, Latin. In the Marine Corps, they got Semper Fi, which is Latin for always faithful. Why would they use that if they weren't in the image of Rome? Which shows that those militaries are nothing but legions. All right? And that's what you're seeing when you see these federales and these Marines and these armies and these low-level cops, all of them, the badge that they have on them represents the Rothschilds, the elite of Edomites. All right? So their army is being raised up against us, and they're intending to flood us, to try to destroy us. But that's only going to cause the Lord to empower us much more. Okay? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
What's happening right now? They're grabbing up the men. They're either putting them in prison, shooting them, sending them over to get ready for the war. Right? So there's going to be a lack of men in America. It's just going to be left a lot of women. And these soldiers are going to come through and ravage the women, destroy the houses. Shit, you just had a Congress member speaking that they need to destroy D.C. They said there's certain areas that just need to be bulldozed over. And what are they going to use? They're going to use tanks, explosives, right? They're gonna cause war to bring forth that implantable microchip, and they're gonna point at the Israelites while they do it. You see? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
Right. Him fulfilling this prophecy, the earth is going to shake. Go ahead.
And it shall be as the chase roll, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land.
Right. And this is the heathen and even Jake. You got Jake from the Caribbeans that are going back to the Caribbeans. They're saying, fuck this place. Mexico, South America, they're saying, fuck America. Go back. We could live better over there now. Right? Because America's getting worse and worse and worse. Right? Go ahead.
Isaiah 13, verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Right, because we're in a time of war. And America loses the war. So if you're here in America, you're going to be destroyed. If you go to war for America, you're going to be destroyed. Go ahead.
Either way,
yeah. That's why you got to give up on this place. You know?
Don't fight for, what is it?
Yeah. I know what you say. Don't waste your time. This place is all going to melt. It's all going to be burnt up.
Yeah.
So you're wasting your time. And soon, it ain't going to be years. It ain't going to be years. You know?
Yeah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Right. So, you know, if you go look up what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in South Sudan, what's happening in Yemen, right? All these different countries where there's war and famine, that's what's about to happen to America. All right? And it's prophesied just like the Damascus ruins was prophesied. That this city that endured so many generations, right? Thousands of years, is destroyed in our generation. Well, that's the same for America. That actually is an omen for what's going to happen to America. All right? Go ahead.
God. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Right? And who were they going against when they were in the war of Syria? The Russians. Right? Assad, where did he go when they chased him?
Yeah,
To Putin.
yeah.
See? And so this is just leading up to the destruction of America. Go ahead.
Come on.
And the Medes in this verse is talking about the Russians. They're in the land of the Medes. Okay?
Come on. Isaiah 13, verse 18. Their bows also, or their bows.
Bows.
Yeah.
Because it's talking like a bow and arrow,
Yeah.
but it's dealing with the nuclear missiles.
Okay, come on. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Right, because when they do those nuclear missiles, it doesn't separate the old from the young, children from adults. It just it sweeps the earth clean.
It consumes everything.
Right?
And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. How did Sodom and Gomorrah get destroyed? Fire coming down from heaven. All right. America is spiritual Sodom, and it's going to suffer the same fate. Fire raining down from heaven, but it's going to be shot by its allies, NATO nations, UN nations, and BRIC nations. All right. Now let's go to that. What was it? Isaiah 17.
Isaiah 17.
Okay, because Isaiah, he was prophesying of the Babylonian Assyrian captivity to the northern and southern kingdom. And then after the northern kingdom went in, the southern kingdom was prophesied to by Ezekiel and Jeremiah. All right? But Isaiah was prophesying to the northern kingdom and southern kingdom of them going into Babylon. And he also prophesied of this Babylon, America. All right? From chapter 1 and throughout. Now, certain times he talks to just the Israelites there, but there's times where he prophesies also about these last days at the same time. Okay? Go ahead.
Come on. Isaiah chapter 17, verse 1. The burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap.
Right. So let me go ahead and get a picture of Damascus. Damascus in ruin. All right. Images. All right. It's a ruinous heap. Who had the technology to do this? Did the Babylonians? Because it said the Esau tries to say the Babylonians did it. Did the Babylonians destroy Damascus? And he'll say no. The Babylonians did not. No, the Babylonians did not destroy Damascus. So then who destroyed Damascus? It was the Edomites, right? America and the small hats,
Yeah.
right? And this prophecy is that at this time, right? When Damascus is destroyed, they will come in on us like a flood. Now jump down to, let's see. Yeah, we'll start at 12.
Okay.
Because, like I said, there's parts that he's prophesying about ancient Babylon, but there's also future prophecies, which they know. You could ask Google, say, is these chapters fulfilled? Historical events? No. There is parts where you could say it has been because of the Babylonians that took the Israelites into captivity, the Assyrians, but it doesn't fulfill all the scriptures like it prophesies that pretty much that place is going to be consumed in fire. All right, go ahead.
God. Starting at the book of Isaiah, chapter 17, verse 12. Woe to the multitude of many people which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters.
So in Psalm 2, it was prophesied. It says in verse 1, why do the heathen rage? The people imagine a vain thing. See, and that's what the heathen are doing right now. They're raging. They're making all this vain noise against the Israelites, right? But they can't go across, just like their ocean, even though it's so powerful and so loud and it's able to do so much damage, it can't pass the limits that the Lord sets unto it unless it is allowed. So just like these heathen, oh, we're going to murder them. We're going to do all this stuff to these Israelites. You ain't going to do shit unless the Lord allow it.
Mm-hmm.
You see? The ocean can't come past the line that the Lord created until he commands it. And that's why he put the rainbow in the heavens to remind us that he would never flood the earth again. Mm-hmm. Right? Has it happened? It has not happened. He has kept his word. Mm-hmm. So just as this is a sign of these last days, the destruction of Damascus, this is, even the prophets are a sign of these last days. All right? Just like Moses and Aaron, they were a sign of the Israelites coming out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 17, verse 13. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters.
Right, so they're going to come in like a flood. What did Trump say he's trying to do? He's trying to flood the streets of America's urban cities. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's what it's saying. They're coming in, all these troops. Right? American soldiers are UN troops. So it's starting with them, but then it's going to go on to these other nations, sleeper cells, as they say, popping up and pretty much slaughtering these Americans, really trying to destroy the Israelites. All right?
Right.
So in Isaiah 59 and verse 19, it says, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. So we're going to have an increase. We're going to be empowered. See? But these nations, they have it in their plans to try to come in and flood us with soldiers. This ain't nothing new. They did it under the Herod, under the Greeks, the Romans, right? Even the other nations did it. The Egyptians, once again, when they heard the prophecies of Moses, they tried to kill him as a baby, murder him as a baby. All right? So this truth is coming out, and they're hearing about the return of Yahweh Shai, and they want to murder the prophets. That's the whole plan. See, and why is this happening? Because really, we're going to be ruling soon. The wicked, they're about to be in slavery. The other nations, they're about to be in slavery. And we're going to pay them back. So they're fighting like how? They're going to fight like a fucking, like a wild animal. Because they don't want to pay that back, what they done unto us.
Yep.
See, they're going to go into slavery fighting. Just like Jake did. Why do you think they had pirates? But see, they're not going to be able to escape the judgment. We're going to be beyond human. See, they're not going to be able to sneak up and hit us in the back of the head as they catch us drunk on our watch, right? We're not even going to have a watch. We're going to have the slaves watching each other, turning each other in. You see? It's going to be a brutal slavery for these heathen. All right? Go ahead, Jacob.
This is Isaiah chapter 17. We're still in the verse 13 reads, many waters, but power shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind.
Right. In front of the chariot and the nuclear destruction. That's the chaff. All right? So even though they look like they think they're God, right? They have all this technology, they have all these numbers, they have all these draconian laws, they're making all these tumults against us, right? They're really nothing, because the Lord is with us. It says, I love Jacob and I hate Esau. So all that shit is in vain. It's all in vain, Esau. You're going to lose. And you're going to go into slavery. All right? Let me get a precept from that. Let me jump to the New Testament. See if they have it. Nope, they don't. But it prophesies. Oh, yeah, they do. Let me see. Rebuke them. I wanted to get the rebuke them in that verse. And I got it in the cross reference. All right. Let me see. No, that ain't relevant. Psalm 46 and 11. It says, Yahweh of hosts is with us. The power of Jacob is our refuge. You see? So let me get that word for power. It's Elohim. So in that verse, who rebukes them? The Elohim, the elect. We're contending with the devil. And we actually are doing spiritual battle. And there's angels that are ministering to us. All right? And we're engaging in this spiritual battle against Satan and his demons, right? Which is Esau and their witches and warlocks, right? False prophets like Trump, okay? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, right? A bunch of false prophets. Go ahead.
I got one here. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15. I'll read it from the NLT. The day is near when I, the Lord, power, will judge all godless nations. As you have done to Israel, so it will be done to you. All your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads.
There you go. See? And that's why they came up with the false doctrine, Christianity, where anybody could be saved. Why? Because they're condemned by the truth. So they made up a lie, all right, like the image of Jesus Christ. Okay? Because the true image of Yahweh Shai condemns them. All right? Go ahead. Oh, and I just wanted to point out in this Proverbs, all right, 46 verse 11, Yahweh of hosts is with us through Yahweh Shai. The Elohim of Jacob is our refuge, Selah. So you're supposed to cleave unto the elect, when you go to Isaiah 14 and 1, it says, the strangers of Israel will cleave unto the house of Jacob. And it says, tight like a scab to a cut. How tight? You know, airtight. That's how tight you're supposed to cleave unto the elect. All right? And that's how tight the elect are to Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai is that tight to Yahweh. All right?
I'll hit this other one. Obadiah 1, verse 16
Mm-hmm.
reads, just as you swallowed up my people on my holy mountain, so you and the surrounding nations will swallow the punishment I pour out on you. Yes, all you nations will drink and stagger and disappear from history.
Right? Because what you've done is going to be forgotten. You see? Russia and all these other nations, their advancements is going to be forgotten. Now, I was thinking about that because the Spirit has me going into all these historical things, right? And what happened this day in history and all that. And all this is going to be forgotten because it's starting over again.
Mm-hmm.
And this kingdom can't go to our kingdom and corrupt it. So all this shit is going to be forgotten. All that Chinese have done, all that the Japanese have done, all that the Arabs have done, it's all going to be forgotten. These 2/3. Michael Jackson is not going to be remembered in the kingdom of heaven for doing the moonwalk. That ain't going to be remembered. Mike Tyson ain't going to be remembered for being the youngest heavyweight champion. That's not going to be remembered. What they're going to be remembered for is for selling out. See? And that's why they're going to have that shame on them. But once again, this is going to be like a dream that when you had a bad dream and it eventually fades away. And like I said, it's going to be like they never were. Because it's going to be, it says one day here in the kingdom of heaven on earth is better than 1,000 good days here on earth under the wicked. So you're going to forget all this, right? But the elect are going to remember, and we're going to keep in order because we're going to remember, hey, don't let this happen. Remember, this is what happened when this happened, right? You give women the right to go work, get a car, then they got their own place and they're sleeping around. No, we don't need that. See, the Israelite women, they're going to be in order already. Once we get to the kingdom, they're going to be born in order. But the other nations, their women are going to go off. The men are going to go off. So we'll have to deal with them in teaching them the correct order. All right, but we're going to re-educate them within a 1,000-year span of slavery. Okay, first.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 17, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, at eveningtide trouble, and before the morning he is not. This is the portion of them that spoil us, and the lot of them that robbed us.
Right, which is night long. It's equal to the day, but really it feels short. Why? Because you fall asleep during the night. And you wake up feeling like night is like this. Though it had a period of time, and that's what he's explaining. Esau, it seems like he's been ruling forever, but it's really a short period. And we're almost at the end. We're almost to where the sun is going to rise, Yahweh Shai. See? And come back for us, come from heaven to get us. You see? And that's why the Lord said for us to remember. Go to Malachi 4. Is that where you were?
I was going Malachi. It's just one chapter, right?
Yeah.
So, but I was at 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a short chapter too. It's only 6 verses.
Malachi. Let's see here. Old Testament.
So it's gonna be quick, man. We're already at the very end, right? And even Trump is saying it. He said that we're gonna move quick. We're gonna move quick with these soldiers and going through these cities. All right. So this thing is gonna be fast. It ain't gonna be slow. It ain't gonna be years. All right. If anything, months. But really, it could even be, honestly, days. To where shit starts cracking off where you can't even go to work because there's freaking war in the streets. Then they use that chaos to bring forth that chip for identification, buying and selling. And then next thing you know, nuclear destruction. It's not that far away. All right?
This is Malachi chapter 4, beginning at verse 1, KJV. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubbled, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Mm-hmm.
But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall.
Which he's bringing us back into remembrance of us being Israelites as we wait on Yahweh to send his son Yahweh Shai back. But then when he comes back, we're going to have new bodies. All right? Go ahead.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 3, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb.
Right. Now, the commandment, we don't remember it in like thinking that us keeping it and doing it is salvation. All right. Let me get this verse. I saved it because I shared it on the channel, and I took a picture of it. Let's see, screenshots right here. Hebrews 7, verse 28. For the law maketh men high priests, which have infirmity. Right? Like Aaron and his sons. They were still sinners, though they were priests. But the word of the oath, the promise that is within the law, which was since the law given to the Israelites, maketh the Son who is consecrated forevermore. See? So this promise, it has a strength for us greater than the law. All right, though it comes in the volume of the law, right? Through Yahweh Shai, we are dead to the law, which is Romans 8 and verse 2. It says, "For the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai had made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh," because we're in mortal flesh right now, "our power Yahweh sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh." And it says condemn sin in the flesh, right? Now it says, let me jump down, and it says, verse 15, "For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption through Yahweh Shai," Romans 9, verse 4 and 5. It says, "Whereby we cry, Abba, Father." You see? So we have salvation through Yahweh Shai. We have power from Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. All right? Now, see, there's no condemnation for us, but we're here to condemn the wicked and them that do wickedly. You see? So this is why we have the commandments. It's the history, it's the prophecy of the future, but also it's the word that we use to condemn the wicked. Why? Because they claim to be Jews, right? But why are you committing these acts, like these abominations that you do in Pink City, in the Holy Land? Why are you holding a sodomite parade if you're the chosen people? If you're the Israelites, why is the world not in a state of peace? Why is not Isaiah 2 being fulfilled? Why are not all these nations going back to you? Why are we not all going back to the land of Israel? See? No, the attention is on America. Why? Because the Israelites are over here in America waiting on the Lord Yahweh Shai. Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai. All right? Go ahead.
Con.
Now, I just wanted to point that out. There's no condemnation for us. So the law is, he's not telling us to go back to the law to condemn us. It's actually to remind us of who we are. All right? Go ahead.
I got Jude chapter 1, verse 7. It reads, ESV, it says, just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities, which likewise indulge in sexual immorality.
Right. And how do you know what that is unless you know the law against that? And that's what Apostle Paul said. I didn't know the law until I was given the law, right? But then the law came and I died because I'm in sinful flesh. See? Go ahead.
Indulge in sexual immorality and pursue unnatural desires, serve as an example by undergoing a punishment of eternal fire.
Which what they were a bunch of Hamites that were Sodomites. All right? Sodom was a bunch of Ham doing sodomy. All right? Which Esau is in that spirit now. America is a spirit of sodomy. When Trump got his inauguration, right? What was the female priest, right? It was a transgender. Female priest spoke at Trump's inauguration. He had a transgender at his inauguration claiming to be a priest. So this place is the spirit of Sodom. See? Go ahead.
I got one more. Here's
Go ahead.
1 John chapter 3, verse 8, ESV. It reads, whoever makes a practice of sinning is of the devil.
Right, and that's talking about the Israelites. Right? They don't care about the truth. They just want to do as they will. Hey, your father is Esau, the devil.
For the devil has been sinning from the beginning. The reason the Son of Power appeared was to destroy the works of the devil.
Right? Which Yahushua did that on the cross. And then he was resurrected saying, hey, death can't hold us. What does Esau use to twist your arm in doing what he wants? You'll die. See? That's what he does. With the C-19, what happened? Oh, if you don't take this thing, you'll die. That's what they're going to do with the MOTB. If you don't get this, you'll die. You see?
Yeah.
So we don't have to fear death. Our power gave us a Savior that overcame death. See, he was resurrected from the dead. Death can't hold us. If we die, our works follow us. Our spirit returns to him that made us, but then our flesh goes back to the body. Goes back to the earth where it came from. All right? But when the Lord comes, the ones that are dead will be risen first, because pretty much it says they come with him. They're already with him. And the ones that are alive will be joined with him. You see? Let me get that real quick. Let me go good real quick. The ones that are dead will come with him, KJV. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse, it says 16, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and it says with the trump of power, Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. See? So they're already with him, right? Because they died and their spirit is with them. When he comes back, they're going to be with him first. And then we will be risen, them that remain. You see? In the clouds, into what? The chariots. To be gathered into the main chariot, Yahushua rides. To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. And that's why we receive this ministry, to prepare us to meet the Lord. The word of Yahweh is grooming us for the bridegroom, Yahushua. We are the bride being groomed for the groom. All right? Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, ESV. It reads, but you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Right, which is the truth. Right? Called you out of the way of the heathen, called you out of these false religions, right? And called you into the name of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh did this through his prophets by the Holy Spirit. See, and that's what they're afraid of. What did it say? You're a holy race. Chosen. That's what makes us holy. Did you have more of that?
That was, no, not that
Okay,
one.
I was going to pull this little clip. All right, I declare fair use act. I'm using this for commenting, educational purposes. All right, I'm not making any money on this, but I'm going to use this part just to show this is what Esau's afraid of. Esau is afraid of us waking up, which the elect are already waking up, to us being a greater race than them. All right? They're not superior. The Edomites, the so-called white race, is not superior. They're weaker. Genesis 25, it said when they were being born with Jacob, Esau and Jacob, Jacob was stronger than Esau, though he was not the firstborn. All right? So here it is. So once again, I claim Copyright Act under Section 107, which gives me the right to comment on this material that is copyrighted for educational purposes. And this is from the Joe Rogan clips. All right?
Distraction from everything else happening in the country right now. And all I'm simply trying to say is it's not a distraction. The people that are kind of helping to divulge all this information, you have an intelligence community, Tulsi Gabbard, Radcliffe, Kash Patel. They have been truly, in regards to our other investigations, extremely transparent and wanting to get this information out. But it doesn't mean that within these intelligence communities there isn't pushback. And so part of the reason why the task force was formed pertaining to things like UAP, pertaining to things like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, pertaining to things like the JFK, MLK, and RFK investigations is because
pertaining to investigating the Israelites. You see? They got secret groups that they formed to investigate certain matters.
Even though we don't hold declassification authority, what we're trying to do is push these agencies and be, if you will, the pit bull and the attack dog on trying to get this information released. And to a lot of these agencies' credits, they've been extremely transparent, and we have gotten wins specifically on the JFK stuff, and we're still looking to declassify and ask specifically on the UAP topic.
What would be the rationale for keep?
And what it was is they're talking about chariots, all right, which she talks about interdimensional people, and using the Bible saying that the Lord formed something else than just humans. But she's really talking about the Israelite and really dealing with the elect. All right? Because those chariots interact with us, the hopeful elect. That's why brothers see them at camps, when they're at home, when they're just in their everyday life. You look up sometimes. I've seen them in the daytime, right? On the way to work at times, different times. Right? We had a brother that passed. The night before he passed, there was a gigantic chariot that we all saw. You see? So these chariots are interacting with us. So those interdimensional beings that they're talking about is us and the angels ministering to us. The reason we're interdimensional is what she explains is we could deal in the present, in their present technology, in the present time, in the present space. We could go back to the past and the future. See, in this present time. See? And that's a multi-dimension. In a house, you have a house, but in the same house, different rooms. You're doing different things, right? In a bathroom, you're taking a shit, showering, whatever, cleaning up. When you go to the kitchen, you're feasting, right? In the front room, you're entertained. So in different times of history, Jacob, the house of Jacob went through different situations. All right, but they're all relevant to right now and what's coming in the future and what was. All right?
Being a photograph of a known absolute not of this world craft from the American people or from the world. Why would anybody think that that would be the smart thing to do, is to limit the access of that information to a very small amount of people?
I think that part of the fear is that you have advisors that think that the American people or humanity might not be able to handle it. There's this like protective complex, but then also too, I think when you are talking about these things, for a lot of people, I think that it kind of can rock your world a little bit in regards to where you stand in a faith perspective, and then also too, an aspect of, well, how do you even begin to explain it? And all I'm going to say is, look.
See, so it deals with where you are, where you're at in the prophecy. See, and that's what they don't want, because the truth is that we're the greatest nation, we're the greatest people. All right, and really, the world would be in a great position when we get back to ruling in righteousness. Now we sinned, that's why we went into captivity. We fell like men. But guess what? The Lord is going to preserve us and bring us back up and make us gods again. All right? And that's what Esau's afraid of. They show it in the movies, Mr. Glass. When they hear about people that have extraordinary abilities, the elite put their money together to try to destroy these people because they're like, it's unfair. X-Men, why are they trying to destroy the X-Men? Because it's unfair. You're better than us. That's the daughter of Edom. That's the daughter of Cain. You see, why did he hate Abel? Because Abel was better than him. Why did Esau hate Jacob? Because Jacob was better than him. Why is Trump unleashing these militaries and these feds into the neighborhoods of Jake? Because they fear us. Because we're better than them. Remember what happened in front of the small hat, small mustache wearing, what was his name? The one that, it just happened recently, in fact, where he won the super soldier in Germany. What was his name? I shared his name just recently. Let me see. Because he just did that recently in history. Let me see. I can't remember his name right off the bat. Let me see. African American that outrun the German in race. Owens, that's his name, Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
An African American, which I use that name just because of Google, but we know that the so-called African Americans are the tribe of Judah, the Israelites. Track and field athlete, achieved international fame at the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin, Germany, right? Competing under the watchful eye of Adolf and the Nazi regime. Owens won 4 gold medals in the 100 meters, long jump 200 meters, and 4x100 meter relay. His victories challenged the ideology of the Aryan supremacy, which claimed the superiority of the white race. See? Which shows you you're not superior. And that's why you come down with wrath with a weapon like a gun, and you got to have these armored vehicles. You got these armored clothing, right? Because you're not better than us. You're not stronger than us. You're not greater than us. All right, and you're going to learn that through the elect. Now, these 2/3 reprobates, you're going to be able to do what you want with them, but even they are going to terrorize you in these cities. All right, because it's all prophesied that there would be sedition amongst men, right? Invading one another for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. 2 Ezra 15. Go ahead if you got.
When we go back to that one on Malachi, chapter 4, verse 4,
Yeah.
reads KJV, remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with statutes and judgments.
Which there's prophecies in there, promises for us to understand in these last days. Even the law prophesies of the Messiah as the sacrifice. Go ahead.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord Yahweh.
Which is Abba Bivens, 1969 in Harlem. We began to preach. Now we're even farther in, multiple generations in, and we're wiser than our teachers under the apostles and elders that ruled Great Millstone Mountain, which taught us the truth. We know more than Abba Bivens did. We know more than King Masha did back then. You know, the technology increased, which helped us. When they were back then, they had to go to the library and sit there for hours and read. Mm-hmm. Now we got these technology, which it tells you in Daniel 12, knowledge shall increase. And when you go into what it means, that knowledge, it means that your answer, you're going to have fast answers. AI, Google, search engines on the computer. See, so we're in these very last days. All right? Go ahead.
Malachi 4, KJV verse 6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children and the heart...
Wait, so the sons are the children, right? And this is talking about One West. King Masha and the rest of those elders that were at One West. Then you had young men like Apostle Dohar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Rakah, right? Learning from those men of One West. And then they started another thing, same thing, but even it grew better, increased off of what those men built. Abba Bivens and King Masha and those other elders, right? And now we know more than back then. See? Go ahead.
And the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
And this is why we have elders, apostle elders. The elder means father. So that's what it's talking about. These younger men believing in what the elders are saying, talking about the truth, which the Lord gave us the apostleship, right, for believing amongst the heathen. He gave us grace and apostleship for obedience among the heathen. See? And as you saw in that verse, it goes Abba Bivens, the generation of King Masha, and then now the apostle elders that ruled Great Millstone Well, and there's nothing else under that. You see? Because we're in the last days. We're about to go back to the promised land and begin there. See? So it doesn't go on for many generations. There's not much more time left in this place. All right? And that's why we have to endure, and the same shall be saved, but the Lord's going to shorten the day, so it's even sooner than what we expect. Right? It says, when you least expect it, that's when these days will come. See? So did you have anything else?
Let's see, right here, I put this one here. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 1. ESV, it says, so I exhort the elders among you as a fellow elder and a witness of the suffering of Hamashiach, as well as a partaker in the glory that is going to be revealed. Shepherds the flock of power that is among you.
Right. And that's what he set up the elders as, shepherds of the flock of Yahweh Shai. Which that's what we're striving to be. All of us are supposed to be striving as shepherds, right? You learn this truth, not to put it in a napkin and put it in your pocket and go through your life, but to apply it so that you can help lead the flock. See? Go ahead.
Exercising oversight, not under compulsion, but willingly, as power would have you, not for shameful gain, but eagerly, not domineering over those in your charge.
Which means not to control every aspect of their life, right? Just like a child, right? If you look at your son, you got to give him a little freedom to try to grow, right? You can't control every aspect of their life. And that's how it is amongst in this truth. You know, some men, they want to just eat vegetables. Some men like to eat just meat. But the men, they do as they want according to the will of the Lord. Just as long as it ain't a sin unto death, it ain't no problem. You know? Like adultery, that's a problem. Right? Murdering, that's a problem. Right? Lying, that's a problem. And I'm talking about lying to the church, not lying to fuck this world. Right? Fuck the heathen at work. Right? But lying in the truth, right? You're teaching lies like Nate or ISUPK.
Yep.
You know, that's a problem. But if you prefer meat over vegetables, that's your business. You know, you like a certain kind of woman, just as long as she ain't married, that's your business. You know, that's what he's saying. Don't be all up in a brother's business. You know, but we're dealing with the righteousness of the Lord. That's why we're brothers. See?
A little bit more here. But being examples to the flock.
There you go. And that's what we're supposed to be. Sacrificing our life just like Yahweh Shai did to be that example of how we should walk. See, and we're to walk in the ways of the Lord. Right. What we teach, we're supposed to work, you know, be doing the same thing that we're teaching. Apostle Paul said that. He said, do you teach not to steal? Are you stealing? You say thou shalt not lie. Are you lying? You know, so don't be a hypocrite. Even Yahweh Shai warned of the leaven of the Pharisees, which was hypocrisy. They dressed the part. They even act the part. But in reality, they were dead men on the inside. Right? But we're supposed to be in a spirit of life, Zoe. Right? What are we getting from Yahweh Shai? Eternal life. Now, how is this life going to be? It tells you in the scriptures. How was life before this? It tells you in the scriptures. How should we be living right now? It tells you in the scriptures. See, that's why in the law, there is a promise for us. Now, we don't keep the law once again, justifying ourselves or saying we're going to be saved because we are keeping the law. No. We're remembering the law because we remember ourselves as Israelites, and the law was given to the Israelites through Moses by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now Yahweh Shai, which is the promise, the instruction unto salvation. You got anything else? No. All right, with that, we are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, and we give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, wa abab abal. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect.